Are you a senior adult content creator with a story to tell? Yet you feel a little intimidated at times trying to learn the technology? Well, stay tuned. I have two projects to tell you about. Hi, my name is Joe Collins, the creator of the Internet Streaming Academy, which is designed to provide training for senior adult content creators. This is my premiere broadcast, and it's live. And as with anything live, I'm hoping that everything goes smooth. Before getting started, I'd like to talk about a couple of housekeeping items. First of all, feel free to leave comments in the area and comment area. And if you have any questions, put a Q in front of it, which will help me to be able to find the comments. Uh, Second thing, if you see me looking to the side like this, I'm looking for the comments. I'm not dozing off. It's just that I have to turn away from the camera to be able to see it. So now, without further ado, let's move on with our first project. And my first interviewee is Helena Figion for the Lark project. She is in 5 time zones away from me. I started to say good morning, but for her it's good afternoon. So, Helena, before we start talking, can you tell us about the Lark project and tell us a little bit about you?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for inviting me onto your first broadcast. I'm speaking to you from Newcastle upon Tyne, which is in the northeast of England, and it's 3 p.m. over here. And I'm a member of a community radio group, and it's called Older Voices. And we're part of the Elders Council of Newcastle, which is a forum for older people. And we're a team of about 10 retirees. We're all volunteers. And we broadcast live on, well, now, I mean, via Zoom, on a local community radio station twice a month. And as a team, we plan the whole program, we choose our guests, we discuss the topics, and we include also music choices, culture, and gardening features.
So, how did you become associated with the Lark project?
Well, we are a member of LARC, and let me just explain. LARC stands for Later Life Audio Radio Cooperative. Now, Lark came about in 2019 as a result of a PhD research project on aging by Arlind Reuter, and she's a student at the Open Lab at Newcastle University. So the focus was on finding an avenue for older adults to not only express their views, but also to be heard. Um, in order to give them greater participation and representation in society. And so the idea was to get more older adults involved in radio and broadcasting, audio, and in a way to really develop their skills, give them confidence so that they can actually feel that they are very much valued group in society. So a radio festival was held over 2 days in Newcastle University. It brought together community radio directors, presenters, academics, local council to really discuss the positives and negatives of aging, and in particular these negative stereotypes that are too evident in our society today. So it was there that this idea of LARC was created. In fact, just to sort of bring these members together who all have expertise and who all are passionate about the subject of aging, bring them together, create a platform so that they can share their content.
What are how many people are associated with members are there of Lark?
Well, at the moment, there are 20 active members. I mean, and by that, I mean that these include community radio stations, service providers, information boards, academics, and then even individuals who really have an interest in any aging issues. So membership is free. There's no age limit because one of the missions of LARC is really to make it an intergenerational platform, so that young people can come in with their own perspectives, their creativity, up to the minute technological skills.
So, how has Lark been received by the senior adult community?
Well, I think from the members' point of view, it's been very successful, because the more platforms you have, the more people are going to view you and listen to you, and sort of learn about issues that they probably didn't know about, or maybe they didn't want to discuss. So I think that's going very successful. I mean, we're talking about connecting to academia, we're talking about connecting to researchers, to people who are very influential, people who are actually policy makers. So I think it's been successful on that side. I think from a local community radio level, and I can sort of bring myself in that, it's given people like myself, my age group, a lot of opportunities to actually feel that we can gain skills, that we can learn. And many of these local community stations are not funded, so they depend on donations from their listeners, from organizations that may have some connection with them. So they bring in the community. If you have a story, if you've got an issue, whatever age you are, you can actually be part of this community radio station. You just come along, bring your enthusiasm. And what is good about it is that there's always, of course, a technical team. It could be one technical manager, it could be a team behind there. So they're ready to sort of help you out, give you those skills. I mean, like, how do you talk in front of a microphone? It's not easy. How do you express your voice? Is it going to be effective? Is it going to be humorous? I mean, there's a skill in that as well, and also it just boosts your confidence. I found in my group, my radio group, I mean, I think there were only two who had professional, or let's say a good grounding in broadcasting. The rest of us, we just came along and said, yeah, sure, we'll try it. So it's been a learning curve all the way. Yeah, we've made a lot of mistakes, and I think especially with technology, that when a microphone doesn't work and you're stuck in that silence, you don't know what to do. Again, there's a skill in knowing how do you get out of that. How do you talk to your guests? There are skills in interviewing also. So I think from our level, it's been fantastic. We do feel now in our group that we're a team. We work together. And the fact that we have been in the past year using Zoom, I mean, we're at home in our living rooms or kitchens. The fact that we can even sort of see each other helps, because if somebody has, let's say, a momentary senior moment, the other one can come in. So yeah, I've got to admit, it's a great confidence booster.
Let me pause for a minute and see if there are any comments or questions for you. And so before moving on, if I put on the screen how you can contact Lark if you're interested. And I personally find it very encouraging to me to see an organization that is doing something to help senior adults that, like me,
Mhm.
that feel that they still have something to offer. So, thank you very much, Helena. And I'm going to now talk about our second project, which is my project, ISA. And so we're going to switch roles. And now Helena is going to interview me. So your turn, Helena.
Okay, well, I want to start with this, Joe, because I understand that your professional career was in IT. So, can you tell us how you came up with the idea of this internet streaming academy? And is it your retirement project?
Uh, it didn't start out as a retirement project. Yes, I've been in IT for. In fact, I wrote my first computer program in 1966, which is a long time ago. And so, uh, afterwards, I retired about 12 years ago now. But I still dabble with technology, on my personal computer or
Mm.
smartphone. I moved from film photography to digital photography, so I had to learn how to do some things using the computer. So during last March, when COVID hit and we were quarantined, I began to look at programs like Zoom and Skype for communicating with family. And one thing that happened in doing so, I had an idea first about having a Zoom high school reunion. And I talked it over with a couple of my classmates, and they thought it was a great idea. And I thought the challenge was going to be putting together the program. But as it turned out, a bigger challenge was getting my classmates on board with the technology. Fortunately, we had scheduled the date for the reunion far enough out whereby I could hold some training for them, how to install Zoom on the computer, how to install Zoom on a smartphone, where's the mute button. A funny thing happened is that in fact, one of my classmates said, "Well, I'm going to get my granddaughter to do this. She'll install it." And and her granddaughter was all excited, and she got excited as well
Mm.
because they were working together. So, the thing that I guess I should have thought about at the time was that older adults sometimes are intimidated by the technology, and but
Right.
fortunately, we were able collectively to pull off the class reunion. So then I thought about, there's probably a need for this, doing something like this just in general.
Mm.
And so for a couple of months, really, the project just lay dormant. Life happened.
Mm.
And then in December of last year, I joined this Facebook group of content creators. And there was a challenge that they had for the content creators called Vlogma, creating a video log, one each day for 30 days until Christmas. And I'm certainly wasn't and still am not a content creator, but I thought that would be a good way that if I got started in doing so, I would feel more comfortable in front of the camera. And so I started, and I created 5 YouTube videos for that. Uh, but again, I had a life event, death in the family, and that stopped, and so I
Mm.
didn't wasn't able to complete the challenge. But in January, I said, you know what, I'm going to move forward with this, and so I created a website, created a YouTube channel, and that's how I got started.
Well, Joe, I actually did go onto your website and I followed those 5 vlogmas, and I found them extremely helpful for me because I like the way that you explained it in a very simple, methodologic, let's say, yeah, a simple way. I mean, I don't know about your methods. I don't know about your friends, how you're teaching them. But to me, it was sort of a step by step. And there's a word that you use, and I just want to pick up on that, and it's that intimidating, because I'm really, I think, a prime example of that. I mean, I started using the PC way back in the 80s. So I think that PC now is an object in a museum. But I used it, of course, for work, and I wrote my reports on it, used the spreadsheets, then, of course, transitioned onto email and internet. But then once I retired, well, that was it. I stopped because there was really no need to go further. And I just basically used the one or two apps that I needed just to keep in touch with family and friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think that gap, and this is what you were talking about with your friends, it's that gap that has created that feeling of lack of confidence, that intimidation, because until about 18 months ago, I was using very simple telephone. I mean, now, just to explain that I'm using the hotspot on my iPhone, right, to get Wi-Fi onto the iPad in order
Wow.
to talk to you. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, wow, exactly. I mean, that is cool. 18 months ago, I would have buried my head in the sand had you asked me to do that. So yeah, we we need your type of, let's say, um, your initiative. And also, it does help having an older person, having a person who, of the same age to explain it, because then we don't feel too embarrassed if we make a mistake. Now, how did you come across
Helena,
that?
let me pause for a moment. I see a couple of questions have come up, and this one is from Arlen, and she's asking, "What are my dreams and ambitions for ISA?" Right now I'm a one-man band, and and my hopes is that if the project gets traction, that I can get other participants to be a part, particularly those that become a part of the training program and adopt the philosophy, each one
Mm,
teach one, and so that's the first thing. And the second thing is hopefully getting some younger people involved, which would help provide stimulation, to older adults as well. So I'd like to see the project grow, and we'll see what happens as a result of this first live stream
mm.
and whether or not there's an interest. I see another question here that I have. Daniel asks. Let's see if I can see again. Being live. Okay. This is from Daniel. Uh, he said, Joe, your setup has such quality. Can you talk about the setup you use? Well, I am broadcasting right from my dining room table. I have my MacBook laptop that I'm using, and I mentioned that I was a photographer, so I happen to be using my mirrorless camera that I've attached to my laptop, and
Mm.
and using some streaming software that allows me to do that. It could be done. Actually, I could have done this using a webcam or even using my cell phone to broadcast to live stream to YouTube. So there are a number of ways it can be done, and that's what that's how I'm doing that. Um, and I'm sorry, Helena, you were going to ask me another question.
No, I was just going to ask you, how did you come across Lark?
Okay. Uh, I was in January when I thought seriously about trying to move forward with the project. I said, well, before I go too far, are there people doing something similar? And again, this is a retirement project, so I didn't want to put a lot of time and effort in building, and no one would come. So I I went on Google and I didn't find very much, but I found a research paper that was done by Jan Smetnik and Arlen Reuter, and it talked about uh, uh, content, some of the stereotypes of adults, and
Mm.
how what can be done to improve that, and using radio and podcast to do that. So
Mm.
I got up nerve and I sent an email to see if there would be any interest from them about my project, and that's how I got in touch with them. That's how it started.
Mm. And how do you think you can link ISA with Lark?
Well,
What are your ideas there?
right. Well, Lark is its focus. I believe is primarily on radio and podcasting,
Radio geography,
and
yes.
ISA is focused on video and live streaming. So there could be some opportunities for joint sharing of ideas and working together in doing that. So that was my initial thought.
Yeah, I think that would be a great idea. Um, also to because if you look on the mixed cloud, this is where all the members of Lark actually um, uh, upload their content. You will see that there are some videos there already, and I think also having a video is can create sort of more attention on some issues. Because, for example, if you're talking about housing issues, you don't, it's not one of the most glamorous subjects to really to talk about or to listen to. But I think if you have a video that is expressing it in a theatrical way, I'm just thinking of one of the members that had this idea because they didn't want to just make it a boring talk, etc. So what they did, they brought in a company, well, an arts company, and they express the ideas, the stories of people who are actually thinking about, what kind of housing are we going to have in the future? What should we do? And from that, they've created this wonderful sort of theatrical piece. And I think when you see it, your attention is much more acute because you sort of look at it and you think, it'd be me. Yeah, it's with me as well. So I think that combination is very, very important. And I'm sure it would work very well.
Well, thank you, Hannah, Alina. Let me just check to see if I have any more questions or comments. And again, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join me on my first live stream, and hopefully it provided some valuable content to the viewers. And I look forward to continuing the live streaming and further developing the Internet Streaming Academy, and also working with Lark. I really enjoyed working with Daniel and Arlen, who have really been providing me some
Mm.
valuable information uh, about about things internet related. So at the end of the broadcast, I'm going to put up a screen for people so people can know how to contact me if you're interested in getting associated with Lark. Uh, okay, I see another question here. Let's see. Many readers are now using tools such as Zoom. Do you think this has helped people engage easier with the internet? And could be one of positive. Positive. I wish I had bought some Zoom stock at the beginning of the pandemic. But yes, um, Zoom. I mean, many of my classmates now are using it for other kinds of things, like birthday parties, game
Mm.
parties. I ran across a neat application called Kahoot that I use with my wife's birthday party earlier this month for game playing. And so Zoom, yes, has really been very valuable to, I think, people, not only younger people, but people in my age group as well. Hopefully that answers the question. Okay. If there are no other questions, again, Helena, I want to thank you for coming on board the first broadcast. And I look forward to talking with you again. And for those of you that are now watching, if you found this YouTube video of interest, please subscribe to our channel. And if you like the video, if you found it of value too. So I see another question. Let me bring that on. Let's see. What is one tip you might have for someone who wants to get started but doesn't know how? Contact me at the Internet Streaming Academy. I would suggest, again, going to, I'll put up a page that has my contact information. And that would be at least a start. And I can direct them to other resources as well that could give them some assistance. So again, thank you. And I look forward to doing another live stream.